Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno. I'm the founder of Real Men, Real Style. All right, today I'm going to be answering a reader's question. He wrote me and said, Antonio, should I fake it till I make it, or should I just be myself? Well, before I get into that, gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. That way these videos come right to you. In addition, if you like this, if you find it useful, I'd appreciate the like. And if you've got something to add, go down into the comment section. Let me know what you think. Give me feedback on this video. Do you think you should fake it till you make it, or be yourself? All right, so here's the question that came in. Antonio, I've got a question that's been on my mind for a while. You know how when we talk to a girl, a stranger, or meet up with a client, we're told to be yourself. Do you really think that rule should apply for everyone? Because I feel like most people don't get too far in life because they follow this rule. In their minds, they see themselves as a normal person, but in reality, it's the opposite. They come across as rude, hostile, or just plain weird. When I was in high school, I really didn't have to have too many friends. I thought it was people just didn't like me because I wasn't cool. When I got to college, I started to rethink my whole attitude and style. I watched the cool, and I started to act cool, but I really wasn't. And so now my question is, Antonio, do you fake it until you make it and act like somebody else, or do you just be yourself? And really, what does all this mean? So it was a good question, and I'm going to try to address it by first off saying you do neither. And I don't like either of those sayings, because the whole fake it till you make it is making you sound like a fraud. And the whole being yourself, in my opinion, what they're really saying is just be lazy. So let me go ahead and explain. So I'm going to start off with the first one, fake it till you make it. And I don't like that one because I think anybody can make it if they put their mind to it, and if they don't accept excuses, and if they're willing to narrow the field. So what do I mean by that? Well, when I started my first business, a tailored suit, I focused in on custom clothing. And I became an expert on men's custom clothing. Within that, I didn't go into white tie, didn't go into black tie, focused in on suits. I didn't go into custom shoes. I didn't talk about casual style. I stayed very narrowly focused. Read a number of books on the subject. And in fact, that's one thing that anyone can do. Go out there and read a book on the subject. You're going to know more than 95% of the world. Read 3 books on the subject, and you're going to become an expert on that subject. And how long does it take you to read 3 books? Very quickly. You don't have to fake it. You can become a narrow subject expert. Now, from that, you can build strength. From that, you can expand. And that's exactly what I did with the tailored suit. So I went out and I studied under some of the best. And yes, I did have to spend a little bit of money, but I flew over. I didn't, I say I studied style over in London, Hong Kong, and Bangkok. Well, what I mean by that is I went over and I got to know tailors, and I very quickly just spent time with them. I paid them money for them to just let me observe, to ask a heck of a lot of questions. Some of them I didn't even have to pay money. I just asked them a heck of a lot of questions. And I went back, had some suits made, went back, tore them apart. I mean, that was my education. And I really did focus in a very short time period, because I had to, and I'm talking a period of months. I found that I knew more about custom clothing than anyone else. Actually, this brings to thought my friend Rishi over at the Dark Knot. It was funny, I was talking with him on Skype, and I was, Rishi, you know all this information about neckties. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, you need to be putting this out there, because here's a guy that got into the business, didn't necessarily have a background, but he studied, and he went very, very narrow. Men's neckties, and in particular, a few different types, high quality men's neckties. He's not going low end. He's not really focused on bow ties. He's focused on neckties, not ascots, neckties, not shoes, neckties. And by staying narrowly focused, he was able to build and able to really focus in on that. So you can do that with any subject. And again, from there, expand. So don't fake it till you make it. Again, zero down, niche down, and go after that. And then from there, spread out. Okay, so the next point is about being yourself. Should you be yourself? Whenever I hear this, to most people, what I think they hear or what they act like is this means be lazy. Don't think. Because that's really what it's about. I have no problem with someone being themselves. And I had a friend he's actually out of Colorado, and we were going to go into downtown Wausau here, and we're with his fiance at the time, and he's like, hey, you're going to wear that? Because I was wearing a nice casual shirt with a pair of nice dress. Actually, it was I thought a pretty good summer outfit. But yeah, I was probably going to be one of the best dressed guys at the square we were going to. He was in running shoes, shorts, cargo shorts, and a t-shirt. and with a baseball cap. And he's like, well, this is what I'm going to wear. That's totally fine. But guess what? I bet more than half the men there will be dressed just like you, because he said he was being himself, but really he was just going with what's currently in fashion. He didn't want to have to think. And although Matt, I think, has spent a lot of time thinking about who he is, he hasn't really thought about his style much. So yes, sure enough, we get there and more than half of the people at the square in Wausau are dressed just like Matt for the summer concert. And it just, to me, it goes to show that what's happening is most of us aren't being ourselves when we think we are. We're actually just being lazy, because to be yourself, you have to figure out who you are and what you stand for. And that is hard. That philosophers and people have thought about and talked about, and it could take a lifetime. But it's a journey. It's not about the destination. Great Aerosmith quote there, by the way. But basically, you don't find yourself. You build yourself. You create, and that's one thing I've discovered, is I have confidence and I know who I am because of my past and where I come from and what I've done in my life. Also, think critically and don't be afraid to take notes. So, a lot of us take notes on our smartphone, but I'm a big fan of just writing it down and transferring over, because a lot of times on the smartphone you can get distracted or on your computer. But if you take a really solid, critically classic book, and you could, there's tons of classic books out there. I'll link over to The Art of Manliness, their list of books for men to be reading. But read through those books, take notes, really force and ask the hard questions. Ask why 5 times. I think this is the Toyota way or something like that. But really ask, why are you doing this? Why? Get down to the kernel, get down to the seed, get down to the core of why you're doing these things. So being yourself, I don't think is relevant, because most people don't even know who they are. And fake it till you make it, I don't see why you need to, because you can narrow down and become a subject expert very quickly and very easily if you stay focused. So that's my answer. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.